The room wakes before the world remembers itself. Stone walls, thick and uneven, hold centuries of silence in their pores. They do not echo. They absorb. They have learned how to keep secrets. A tall window stands open just enough. Mediterranean sunlight enters slowly, deliberately, like a visitor who knows this place is sacred. It does not rush. It does not invade. It arrives. Dust lifts into the air, suddenly visible, suspended, as if time itself has been disturbed. Near the window stands a woman, seen only from behind. She is completely still, not waiting, not posing, remembering. The light reaches her back and lingers there, warm and patient, as though it recognizes her before we do. Her posture carries a quiet weight, years held upright, emotions folded inward. She breathes in, a slow, careful breath. The room listens. And in this silence, we understand something before it is ever said. This is not an ordinary morning. This is not an ordinary woman. And this room has been waiting for her long before she arrived. The light begins to move. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, it travels across the floor, climbing the walls, revealing what time has chosen to leave behind. Old marks, faded lines, the quiet evidence of hands that once worked here with purpose. The woman exhales. Her breath is measured, controlled, as if she is careful not to disturb something fragile in the air. Her shoulders lower slightly, surrendering a tension she did not know she was carrying. Behind her, the room holds signs of another presence. Canvases lean against the walls, not arranged, not displayed. Some are finished, others abandoned halfway through an idea. Brushes rest in jars, stiff with dried pigment. Colors linger in the room like unsaid words. This is not a place of comfort. It is a place of searching. She does not turn around. And yet she feels it, the sense of having been observed before, not with desire, but with curiosity. The same attentive gaze that once found her among voices and fruit, among the ordinary chaos of a morning market. Her fingers tighten slightly at her side. The light pauses, as if listening, as if remembering the moment when someone first noticed her, not as a passerby, but as a presence worth understanding. A memory begins to surface, not sharply, not all at once. It arrives the way light once did that morning through colors first. Crates of oranges split open, figs resting in woven baskets, voices overlapping, bargaining, laughing, colliding with one another. A familiar chaos she had walked through her entire life without ever stopping inside it. Until that day, she remembers standing there, choosing fruit as she always had. The same gestures, the same patience, the same quiet invisibility. And then the feeling of being noticed, not stared at, not interrupted, simply observed. A presence among the crowd that did not rush past her like the others. A gaze that lingered, not on her face, but on the way she moved, the way she paused, the way her hands decided. Her breath changes now, just slightly. The room seems to respond. Wood creaks softly. Dust shifts again in the light. She remembers the question ordinary, almost insignificant. Something about fruit, something about ripeness. But behind it, something else lived. A curiosity that did not ask to take, only to understand. Her shoulders draw back a fraction, as if her body remembers standing a little taller that morning, as if it remembers being seen without being claimed. The light slides higher on the wall, warmer now, and in its quiet movement, we feel what she is beginning to understand. That some encounters do not announce themselves as important. They hide inside routine, inside markets, inside questions that seem harmless, until much later, when they return, inside rooms like this one, asking to be remembered. The memory continues, not as an image, but as a sensation, the sound of footsteps leaving the market together, not planned, not discussed, simply happening. She remembers the way the noise faded as they moved away from the stalls, voices dissolving behind them, the city narrowing into quieter streets where stone replaced color and echoes replaced music. Here, in this room, she feels that same transition, the shift from public to private, from observation to attention. Her breathing slows further now. She remembers how he spoke as they walked, not filling the silence, allowing it. How his words circled around art, around cities, around light, never around himself. And how that restraint made her listen more closely. The sunlight touches the edge of a table now, revealing scratches, stains, the memory of hands pressing down in thought. This place has known concentration, doubt, return. She realizes she felt safe that day without knowing why. Not protected, respected. Her hand lifts slightly and falls again to her side. She does not turn yet. She remembers the moment he stopped walking, the way he gestured toward a doorway, almost uncertain, as if asking permission without words. Not an invitation spoken aloud, an offering. The light grows steadier, and with it, the understanding that this room is not just a space. It is the continuation of that walk, the quiet answer to a curiosity that began among fruit and voices. She stands where that path has led her, still silent, still choosing. The room grows quieter, not because sound disappears, but because attention sharpens. She senses him now without seeing him, not as a body in the space, but as a presence shaped by restraint, the kind that waits before acting, the kind that watches before touching anything at all. The light shifts again. It reaches the canvases leaning against the wall, grazing their edges, revealing fragments of color. A blue cut short, a face unfinished, a line that stops just before becoming certainty. This room has known hesitation. She inhales, a deeper breath this time. Her fingers uncurl slowly, releasing a tension she has carried since the market, since the walk, since the moment she realized this encounter was not accidental, even if it had not been planned. She remembers how he looked at objects, not to own them, not to judge them, but to understand their inner weight. She realizes now that same gaze has followed her here, not as desire, as curiosity sharpened into care. The floor beneath her feet feels warmer. The light has reached it fully now, cooling softly around her shadow. She is aware of her own stillness, not frozen, chosen. For the first time, she understands that silence can be a form of consent, that standing still can be an answer. Behind her, the blank canvas waits. It does not demand her face. It does not ask her to become something else. It waits for truth. And she stands there, between light and memory, between the woman she has always been and the woman this moment is quietly inviting her to become. Time slows, not stopping, settling. She feels the room accept her presence, as if it has been waiting to decide whether she belongs. The light steadies, no longer searching, no longer moving. This is the moment before action, before the first line, before intention becomes gesture. She does not look back. She allows herself to be where she is. Behind her, movement begins, quiet, deliberate, the soft sound of a canvas being adjusted, the almost inaudible shift of wood against stone. She feels it more than hears it, the beginning of something that does not ask permission, because it has already been granted. She remains still, and the light stays with her. The light begins to change, not in brightness, in intention. It softens, spreading across the room, as if preparing it for remembrance. Shadows grow longer, gentler. Edges lose their severity. She becomes aware of her breathing again. Slow, even, present. Each inhale feels deliberate now, as if she is choosing to remain inside this moment, rather than retreat into thought. Each exhale releases something unnamed, a past version of herself that no longer fits. She senses the attention behind her, focused, patient, unhurried, not the gaze of someone searching for beauty, but of someone searching for truth. Her posture adjusts almost unconsciously, not to impress, to align. She stands the way she stands when she is alone, when no one is watching. And yet, she knows she is being seen. The realization does not unsettle her. It steadies her. For the first time, she understands that to be observed with care is not exposure. It is recognition. The room feels fuller now. Not crowded, complete, light, memory, silence, and attention settling to balance. And within that balance, she understands something quietly profound. This is not about being captured. It is about being understood. She remains still. And in that stillness, she allows herself to exist exactly as she is enough. The light begins to change. Not in brightness, in intention. It softens, spreading across the room, as if preparing it for remembrance. Shadows grow longer, gentler. Edges lose their severity. She becomes aware of her breathing again. Slow, even, present. Each inhale feels deliberate now, as if she is choosing to remain inside this moment, rather than retreat into thought. Each exhale releases something unnamed, a past version of herself that no longer fits. She senses the attention behind her, focused, patient, unhurried, not the gaze of someone searching for beauty, but of someone searching for truth. Her posture adjusts almost unconsciously, not to impress, to align. She stands the way she stands when she is alone, when no one is watching. And yet, she knows she is being seen. The realization does not unsettle her. It steadies her. For the first time, she understands that to be observed with care is not exposure. It is recognition. The room feels fuller now. Not crowded, complete, light, memory, silence, and attention settling to balance. And within that balance, she understands something quietly profound. This is not about being captured. It is about being understood. She remains still. And in that stillness, she allows herself to exist exactly as she is enough. Time has thinned. It no longer feels measured in minutes, but in awareness. The room exists in a suspended state, held together by light and intention. She senses the rhythm behind her, the pause, the movement, the return to stillness. A conversation taking place without words. The light settles fully now, resting on the canvas, on her silhouette, on the space between them. It does not choose a side. It holds them both. She feels no urgency to turn around. What matters has already happened. In the market, she had been one among many. Here, she is singular, not elevated, not idealized, simply seen. Her breathing remains steady. She understands now that this moment cannot be repeated, that whatever is taking form behind her belongs to this precise alignment of hour, light, silence, and trust. The room remembers it even as it happens, and so does she. There is no need to claim it, no need to name it. Some experiences do not ask to be carried forward. They embed themselves. She stands as the painting nears its quiet completion, aware that what has been captured is not her image, but her presence. The light begins to withdraw, not abruptly, gently. Morning gives way to something quieter, something that knows when to leave without breaking the spell. The room returns to itself, holding what has happened without explanation. She finally turns. Only slightly. Enough to know the painting exists. Enough to understand it is finished. She does not step closer. She does not need to. What was meant to be captured has already crossed from one soul to another. Some encounters do not become stories told aloud. They become perception. They change how we look at the world, at ourselves, at art. She will return to the market, to ordinary mornings, to familiar paths. But she will never walk them the same way again. Because true art does not belong to the artist alone. It belongs to the moment it awakens in someone else. If this story moved you, if you felt the silence, the light, the weight of what was unspoken, stay here. Subscribe. Follow. Share this with someone who understands that art is not noise. It is attention. To honor art is not to claim it, not to imitate it, not to reduce it to content, but to witness it with respect, humility, and gratitude. Because the greatest artists do not need to be copied, they need to be understood.